Good afternoon, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 0 trades at the market open this morning. My plan has a very strict criteria and set of rules in order to take a trade. If those things are not met, then no trades are taken. And generally, that keeps me out of a weak market. And this morning, the market was selling off pretty hard. So let's take a look at the screener. I like to show you how I pick the stocks that I watch. So I go over to my screeners, click on my mid-cap screener. Always click the 3 dots, click modify. Otherwise, your filters will not be applied. Once they're applied, then I organize the list by volume. I'm looking for stocks that are going up in price, TBIO, UAA, things like that. Those go on my chart page. Let's take a look at the video. Then I check the daily chart and make sure that those stocks are trading above the 200 MA on the daily chart. The reason for that is I want to be trading with the trend. And if the stock is above the 200 MA on the daily chart, then you're going to be trading with the long-term trend that is going up. So here is the 200 MA on TBIO, the 200 MA on UAA, and on SAVA. You can see that all 3 of those stocks are trading above that line. So now, once that criteria is met, then I look for the previous session high. That could be in the previous pre-market, aftermarket, or previous day. Whatever is higher out of those 3, and that's where I mark this previous high line, which is this gold line. If the price does not get above that line, then I cannot even look for a trade. Once it gets above that line, then I have to wait for a pullback, and I can enter when a 1-minute candle makes a new high. And that's it. Those are all. If all of those things are not met, then I don't take any trades. And that's what happened this morning. Not all of those things were met on any one of these stocks, so there were no trades to take. And occasionally see me going to the single chart view on SPXL to adjust my stop, because the S&P 500 was obviously selling off pretty hard this morning, and then made a bit of a recovery close to 1030. So at 1.0N, which I traded yesterday, popped up on my screener, and so I do the same thing. It doesn't matter that I traded it yesterday and lost the trade. It has nothing to do with today. I just apply the exact same criteria that I apply to every single stock every single day. So I look at the previous day high. It was 45.18. Put a line on the chart. I know this is trading above the 200 MA on the daily chart, and now I wait for the price to get over that level in order for me to look for an entry. And that does happen very close to the end of my trading window. You can see the time here right now is about 10 a.m. And I'm only allowed by my plan, for a very good reason, to trade from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Once that time is up, then that's it. It doesn't matter if something triggers an entry at 10:31, I'm done. And I have an alarm set on my phone that reminds me as soon as 10:30 comes around, okay, stop trading. If I'm looking for trades, don't take any trades. That kind of thing. So the reason being is that what happens if something triggers an entry at 10:31 and I get stopped out? How do you think I'm going to feel? You know, if my plan, assuming my plan tells me to stop at 10:30 a.m. And the reason why I like to stop at 10:30 a.m. is I feel like 1 hour looking at charts is plenty. If you're doing this every single day, that's a lot of time to be looking at charts. An hour and a half is really pushing it for me, because if, let's say that nothing gets triggered between 9:30 and 10:30, just like today, and then let's say some stock gets triggered at 10:45 or maybe 10:55 or something like that, and I take an entry, and if that trade fails, I am going to feel like an idiot, because I just spent an hour and a half of my day to lose money. And that's one of the reasons why, and that may be different for everybody. Maybe that feels okay to you, but it doesn't for me. And I kind of learned that when I was trading in the pre-market a few months ago. I would start trading at 4 a.m. And at one point, I think I was allowing myself to go all the way to 5 a.m. And I remember there was a couple days, and one day in particular, where nothing was meeting my criteria, and then something met my criteria right before 5 a.m. I jumped into the trade. I was stuck in that trade for hours, and there's no stop losses in the pre-market, so you can't leave. You have to sit here and watch it. And the trade ended up stopping me out hours later, like around 7:30 a.m. or something like that. And that was a good lesson there, you know, because I don't want to just hang around and wait for something to happen, because if there's nothing happening between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m., it's likely there's not going to be anything good for the rest of the day, because that's where the most volume of the market is. and the most energy in the market. So that's why that's my window. All right, so on ON, this is the only thing that got close to triggering an entry. It has to break over 45.18. It does so a little bit later. You can see a huge sell-off right there. I had set an alert at 45.18 just because I wasn't really staring at these charts that much this morning because I just did not think that there was going to be anything. Oh, and here's TBIO, which was pretty interesting because you saw it was up very high on the screener, but it's just trading sideways with no volume. And let's take a look at what happens here with ON as the morning progresses. All right, so there it finally breaks out over the previous high, and it does so fairly nicely. I think 45.18 was the previous high, so it gets almost 10 cents above that. Starts to pull back. Actually goes, yeah, a little bit further. Yeah, exactly 10 cents above, and then pulls back. So this is where I could get ready to take an entry if a 1 minute candle makes a new high, and I would actually have to do that because that's what my plan says to do. So you can see the time down here. It's like almost 10:29 right now. Still no 1 minute candle has made a new high. And I'm kind of happy about that because when it's close to the end of my trading day, I really don't want to just get into a trade right at the very end of the window. I'd rather get into a trade right after the open and, it be done in a few minutes and then move on with my day. So if this candle doesn't break over the high of this one within this last minute, then there's no trade for me to take. And that's pretty much what happens. You can see it's 10:29 and 30 seconds. So as soon as 10:30 rolls around, that's it. My alarm goes off, tells me to stop trading, shut down the platform, and move on with my day. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making this video and showing you why I didn't take any trades this morning. So you could see my spreadsheet here. I just dragged down the day trading portion of my account, but there's no trades or anything. I put a note on the chart or on the spreadsheet saying that nothing met my criteria right here. So if I go and look back, like why didn't I take any trades that day? That's why. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions about this plan or why I didn't take any trades or anything like that, let me know. As always, go into every single trade with a plan. As long as things meet your criteria, then take a trade and stick to that plan. If nothing does, then there's no reason for you to take a trade. But if you do, always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.